I am not speaking of some distant deity sitting in judgment upon your worthiness. I am speaking of the God that you are. The I am presence within you that is your true identity. This God is not separate from you, observing you from far. This God is you at the deepest level of your being. And when this divine self within you recognizes your readiness, the entire universe conspires to bring your dream into manifestation. But what does it mean to be ready? Readiness is not about having perfect conditions. It is not about having eliminated all obstacles from your path. It is not about having convinced everyone around you that you deserve your good. Readiness is a state of consciousness, a quality of being that transcends all external circumstances. When you are truly ready, you no longer need your dream to be different from what you are experiencing now in order to feel complete. When you are ready, you have found that place within yourself where you already possess what you seek. This is the great paradox that confounds the human mind. We believe we must first receive in order to feel fulfilled. But the divine law operates in reverse. We must first feel fulfilled in order to receive. We must first embody the consciousness of having before we can have the experience of having. This is why Jesus said, "Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." Notice he did not say believe that you will receive it. He said believe that you have received it. This is present tense consciousness, the state of being that recognizes fulfillment as a current reality rather than a future possibility. When you reach this state of consciousness, when you can feel genuinely grateful for what you desire, as though you already possess it, then you have achieved the readiness of which I speak. The signs that God knows you're ready are unmistakable, though they may not appear as you expect. The first sign is inner peace. When you are truly ready to live your dream, you are no longer tormented by its absence. You no longer feel that desperate grasping energy that pushes and forces and tries to make things happen. Instead, you feel a deep, abiding peace, a knowing that all is well, and that your good is already yours. This peace is not resignation or giving up. It is the peace that comes from knowing who you are and what you possess at the level of consciousness. The second sign is the cessation of doubt. When you are ready, you no longer question whether your dream is possible. You no longer seek validation from others or look for external proof that your desire can be fulfilled. The knowing within you is so complete, so unwavering, that doubt cannot find a foothold in your consciousness. This is not positive thinking or mental affirmation. This is the deep conviction that comes from having touched the reality of your fulfilled desire in consciousness. The third sign is natural expectancy. When you are ready, you expect your good just as naturally as you expect the sun to rise each morning. There is no strain in this expectation, no anxiety about when or how it will come. You simply know that it is coming because you have seen it and felt it, and lived it in the realm of imagination, which is the realm of reality. But how do you reach this state of readiness? How do you prepare yourself to receive what you have been longing for? The preparation is not external, my friends. It is not about taking more action or working harder or convincing more people. The preparation is internal, and it happens in the wonderful world of imagination. Imagination is not fantasy. Imagination is divine faculty by which you create your world. When you imagine, you are not escaping from reality, you are entering into reality. For consciousness is the only reality, and imagination is consciousness in action. Every night as you fall asleep, you have the opportunity to enter into the consciousness of your fulfilled desire. This is not daydreaming or wishful thinking. This is the sacred act of creation itself. Create for yourself a scene that would naturally occur if your dream were already fulfilled. Make this scene as vivid and as real as possible. See it through your own eyes, feel it with your own body, hear the sounds that will be present if this were actually happening now. But most importantly, feel the satisfaction, the joy, the naturalness of having what you desire. Live in this scene until it feels more real than your present circumstances. Do this night after night with persistence and faith. Do not be discouraged if your outer world does not immediately reflect what you are experiencing in imagination. Remember, you are working with the deepest laws of creation, and these laws operate in their own perfect timing. Your job is not to figure out how your dream will come to pass. Your job is to consistently dwell in the consciousness of its fulfillment until that consciousness becomes your natural state of being. As you practice this sacred art, you will begin to notice changes within yourself that signal your growing readiness. You will find that you no longer feel desperate about your desire. You will discover that you can think about it with joy rather than longing. You will realize that you are becoming the person who naturally possesses what you seek. Not trying to get something that you lack, but expressing something that you already are.
Yeah.
This transformation of consciousness is what prepares you to receive. For you cannot receive what you are not ready to receive, and you cannot be ready to receive what you are not ready to be. If you desire wealth, you must become wealthy in consciousness before wealth can appear in your experience. If you desire love, you must become loving in consciousness before love can manifest in your relationships. If you desire health, you must embody health in consciousness before health can express itself in your body. The world teaches us to try to get in order to be, but the divine law requires us to be in order to get. This is why so many people struggle and fail to manifest their desires. They are trying to work from the outside in instead of from the inside out. They are trying to change their circumstances in order to feel different, when they must feel different in order to change their circumstances. When you understand this principle and begin to apply it consistently, you will see miraculous changes in your life. Things that seemed impossible will become inevitable. Doors that were closed will swing open. People who can help you will appear at exactly the right moment. Resources you need will become available. Opportunities you never could have imagined will present themselves. But remember, these external changes are not the cause of your fulfillment. They are the effect of your inner transformation. They are the natural result of your changed consciousness. They appear not because you have convinced God to give you what you want, but because you have become the kind of person who naturally experiences what you desire. This is why timing is so important in the divine plan. You cannot receive your good until you are ready to receive it. Not because God is withholding it from you, but because readiness is the condition that allows reception to occur. A seed cannot sprout until the soil is ready. A baby cannot be born until the pregnancy is complete. A dream cannot manifest until consciousness is prepared. When God knows you're ready, you will know it too. You will feel it in the depths of your being. You will recognize it by the peace that surrounds your desire, by the certainty that fills your heart, by the natural expectancy that governs your days. And when that moment comes, when readiness is complete, your dream will manifest with such ease and naturalness that you will wonder why you ever thought it was difficult. But until that moment comes, your work is to prepare. Your work is to dwell consistently in the consciousness of fulfillment. Your work is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and to maintain that assumption regardless of what your senses report or what others say or what circumstances suggest. This is the work of the spiritual student. The work of one who understands that consciousness is cause and the world is effect. Many people give up just before their breakthrough because they judge by appearances instead of by the invisible reality of consciousness. They see no evidence of change in their external world and conclude that the law is not working. But the law is always working, my friends. Consciousness is always creating. The question is not whether the law is working, but what consciousness you are maintaining. If you are maintaining the consciousness of lack, of limitation, of unworthiness, then that is what you will experience in your world. If you are maintaining the consciousness of having, of abundance, of divine favor, then that is what will manifest as your experience. The law is impersonal, and it responds to what you are in consciousness, not to what you want or what you say or what you do. This is why it is so important to monitor your inner conversations, your habitual thoughts, your emotional responses to circumstances. These reveal what you truly believe, what consciousness you are actually maintaining. If you find yourself worrying about your desire, doubting its possibility, feeling frustrated by its delay, then you know you are not yet in the consciousness of fulfillment. You are still in the consciousness of wanting, of lacking, of striving. But do not condemn yourself for this. Simply recognize it as information about your current state and gently redirect yourself back to the consciousness you wish to embody. Remember, you are learning to walk in a new way, to think in a new way, to be in a new way. This takes practice and patience and persistent application. Every time you catch yourself in the old consciousness of lack, you have an opportunity to choose the new consciousness of fulfillment. Every time you feel the familiar anxiety about your desire, you can return to the peace that comes from knowing it is already yours. Every time doubt attempts to enter your mind, you can replace it with a certainty that comes from having lived your dream in imagination. This is how you prepare yourself. This is how you develop the readiness that God recognizes. This is how you align your consciousness with the reality of your fulfilled desire, until there is no longer any separation between what you are in consciousness and what you experience in the world. And when that alignment is complete, when your inner reality and your outer reality are one, then you will see what I am speaking of tonight. You will see the miraculous power of consciousness to create and to transform and to manifest. You will see how perfectly the universe responds to your assumptions about yourself and your world. You will see why it was necessary to become ready before you could receive. The waiting period, the preparation time, the season of apparent delay, all of this serves a divine purpose. It is during this time that you develop the consciousness that can sustain your dream once it manifests. It is during this time that you become the person who naturally lives at the level of your desire. It is during this time that you build the inner foundation that can support the outer expression of your fulfilled wish. Without this preparation, you might receive your dream only to lose it again, because you were not ready to maintain it. How many people have won the lottery only to return to poverty? Because they had not developed wealth consciousness. How many have found love only to lose it because they had not developed love consciousness? How many have achieved success only to sabotage it because they had not developed success consciousness? But when you have truly prepared, when you have done the inner work of transformation, when you have become in consciousness what you desire to be and experience, then what comes to you will remain with you. It will be natural to you. It will be an expression of who you are rather than something foreign that you have acquired. This is the difference between getting and being, between having and possessing, between temporary manifestation and permanent transformation. When God knows you're ready, when your consciousness is prepared, what comes to you comes as a natural expression of your prepared state. It fits you perfectly because you have become the perfect fit for it. I want you to understand that readiness is not perfection. You do not need to become perfect before you can live your dream. You do not need to eliminate every negative thought or overcome every fear or resolve every issue from your past.
Peace out.
Readiness is
Stay
about
magical.
reaching that
Stay
point where your
tasty.
dominant
Jezza
consciousness,
out.
your habitual dwelling place, is
You.
aligned with your desire.